Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. So in this meeting, I'll take you through the current state of the processes, the way things are currently done in terms of the logins in MediSage, and then I'll update you on the requirements that we recently had and how we are adjusting to those requirements, the methods that we use to have those requirements documented, and so on. Then I will take you through the future state processes map. I'll explain to you, well, how are we adjusting to these new requirements, and then I will explain sort of this internal logic of the underlying logic of why we're doing the processes the way we're doing them. After myself, Fiona, Josh, and Melissa will then explain the perspective of the security team and the customer service team, and then also how these changes affect our customers. Now, currently, when it comes to the logins, the way things are performed right now is that after a client makes the call, they get directed to a website where they get to enter their basic details, set up a new password, and then after that, they receive a confirmation page. And the first login, what they do, they enter their new credentials, and then they're asked additional details. It's automatic on the website, and the details are basically like birthday, mother's maiden name, first pet's name, and so on. Standard security questions. And when they enter that, they get directed to the home page. Now, these security questions, the answer to these security questions, then are used for when the clients need to reset their passwords or login credentials somehow. And the way to do that is that they click on the reset link on the website, and then they receive an email containing those security questions. Now, if they answer those security questions correctly, they get to then enter a new password on the web page and directed to the home page. Otherwise, the information will get sent to the security team to investigate further. But during regular logins, really, they just enter their credentials and they go to the home page. And they get to enjoy the services that the company offers. Now, recently we received new sets of requirements when it comes to the logins. Number one, we need to have a 2FA system in place as an extra layer of security, and 2FA is basically a two-factor authentication, an additional layer of security to make the account safer. And the second requirement was that these new systems have to be implemented in place within 8 weeks. So now we performed a variety of different interviews with different internal stakeholders just to get their perspectives, from head of security council to national security manager to CRM product manager and so on. And the consensus was to first use the email system that we've currently got in place as an extra layer of security. So the way it's performed is that after people log in or they set up a new account and so on, we send them an automatic link that they have to click on to further authenticate that they're actually themselves. That's basically the underlying logic of this. So the way things have changed then, aka the 2B processes, will be that the clients make a call, they get directed to a page, they set up the password, and then automatically after that process is done, the different bit is here. They receive an email that includes information about the 2FA, right? And then the first login, after they enter their email and password, they receive a 2FA email automated, and then there's a link there that they have to click on. This bit is the different bit. And then they have to add their additional detailed birthdays, first pet, mother's maiden name, and then they get directed to the home page. So that's basically where the 2FA link step has inserted itself here. And for regular logins, of course, they enter their credentials. Again, they receive the 2FA link, and they're taken to the home page. In case they need to reset their password, again, the process is almost exactly the same. So they click on the reset link, they receive the security questions, they answer it correct or not. The process there hasn't changed so much. Now, once we map this process out and we start to get to it, we were handed a change request, as you do in these projects. The reason for that was that in another company, I believe the name was Yepi, which they use a similar email system, there was a security concern. Some emails were hacked, and there was some security concerns in regards to how the emails, the 2FA links were sent to those emails. The level of the security was not as desired. So based on the advice that we received from Carlos, the head of the legal counsel, we needed to make some adjustments. We couldn't use the email system anymore since we thought it might not be the safest way to do it. After, again, we conducted another set of interviews with our internal stakeholders, we realized that, well, we have an SMS system in place. Well, let's use that. So then we further update the to-be processes to be like this. So when clients go to the website, they enter basic details, set up new password confirmation. They still receive the email, this time about the SMS 2FA system. So that process really didn't change so much. For the first login, the Intel email and password, they receive an SMS containing a PIN, a 6-digit PIN, that it will expire in 3 minutes. There they get directed to the page that they get to enter that PIN, get authenticated, directed to the home page. Same thing here for the regular login. So nothing really changed here much. It's just that instead of having that email inserted in, they just get that SMS, they click on the link, they go to a page and they have to enter the PIN there. And same thing with the resetting the password. That thing hasn't changed either. So the security team still investigates whether they answered the security questions correct or not before providing them access there. So the consensus, bottom line, the consensus was to go forward with the SMS system and move things from there. And then, of course, we had a couple, 3 main risks involved in this project that I wanted to mention as well. The first one was a schedule risk, because we've received basically 2 major change requests. Well, a major change request after the to-be processes was designed, the first draft. And the risk is that basically delaying delivering the solution because the new requirements came in a little bit late. And the impact of that would be the business as usual processes of the business might get impacted if we don't get this done on time, and the likelihood of it was categorized as possible. With the new requirement coming in late, that's a significant risk to think about. Operationally, there was a concern that the SMS system might not work due to extra load of information that is going through that. To going through the same information funnel. It's rare, to be honest with you. The SMS system should be working pretty neatly. I don't think there's so much of a concern there, but just something to have in mind. And then also operationally, the second risk was that once these changes are implemented, the change team then of course have to set a new system to train a new staff, make sure they're implementing the new system, and so on. But again, due to the time constraint, this might not be fully possible, which has its own business impacts. Again, unlikely. The change team is aware of that, and they are moving forward with us. And that's for me. Thank you all very much. I'll now hand it to Fiona.